Imagine sitting in a video game with your closest friends, laughing through a normal evening, only to hear a scream so horrifying through a headset that it instantly turns a casual gaming session into a real-life nightmare. That's exactly what happened to one of my friends. At the time, I wasn't much of a Fortnite player. I had known about the game for years, but I had never bothered downloading it. Battle royales weren't really my thing. That changed when my friends practically begged me to join them. One evening, after weeks of convincing, I finally gave in. We loaded into a squad match. There were 4 of us in total: Evan, Xavier, Braxton, and me. Evan was easily the best player in our group. He knew every map location, every strategy, every trick. If anybody was leading the team, it was always him. Xavier wasn't far behind. He took the game seriously enough to be good, but not so seriously that he couldn't joke around. Braxton was different. Most of the time he stayed quiet. The only moments he usually spoke were when he needed help or when someone was shooting at him. Then there was me, the beginner. The entire match consisted of Evan and Xavier explaining things while I struggled to keep up. Through our headsets, they taught me where to go, what weapons to pick up, and how not to get eliminated within the first few minutes. The atmosphere was relaxed. We joked, we laughed, we messed around. Nothing felt unusual. Outside, the night was quiet. Inside our homes, we were all doing the same thing thousands of other players were doing across the country, playing a video game. At some point during the match, Evan was leading us toward another area of the map while casually talking through his headset. Then he suddenly stopped speaking. At first, nobody thought much of it. A few seconds passed, then 10. His character froze completely, standing motionless in the middle of the game. "Move," Xavier said, sounding annoyed. No response. Evan's character remained perfectly still. What none of us realized in that moment was that our normal night had already come to an end. Xavier kept talking. "Evan, seriously, move." Still nothing. His character remained frozen exactly where he had stopped. At first we assumed his controller disconnected. Maybe his internet had cut out. Maybe he had stepped away from the room for a second. But then I noticed something strange. The microphone icon beside Evan's name was still active. His headset was picking up sound. Very faint sound. The kind of random background noise you hear when someone's microphone is sitting unattended somewhere in a room. "Evan," I asked. No answer. The 3 of us continued calling his name. Nothing. The silence grew uncomfortable. Even Braxton had started talking, which almost never happened. Then it happened. A scream exploded through our headsets. Not a startled yell. Not frustration from the game. This was pure terror. The sound was so loud and sudden that I physically jumped in my chair. It didn't even sound like Evan was close to the microphone. If anything, it sounded like he was somewhere farther back in the room. Screaming, panicking, terrified. For a brief second the scream continued. Then came another sound. A door slamming. Hard. The impact echoed through the headset. And then, nothing. Absolute silence. Nobody spoke. Not me. Not Xavier. Not even Braxton. We were all trying to process what we had just heard. My heart was pounding. Every possible explanation rushed through my mind, yet none of them made sense. Had somebody broken into his house? Had he gotten hurt? Was it some kind of joke? The longer the silence lasted, the worse the possibilities became. Finally, I said I was going to call him. I immediately shut off my console and grabbed my phone. The first call rang until voicemail. The second did the same. Then the third, fourth, fifth. No answer. At that point, anxiety had completely replaced confusion. The thing that made it worse was how close Evan lived. His house was barely 2 minutes away from mine. I stared at my phone for a moment, hoping it would ring back. It never did, so I grabbed my keys and left. As I drove through the quiet streets, the scream kept replaying in my head. Every second felt longer than the last. By the time I reached his neighborhood, I already knew something was very wrong. I just had no idea how wrong it actually was. When I pulled into Evan's driveway, the first thing I noticed was that there were no cars parked outside. The second thing I noticed was even worse. The front door was open, wide open. Every light inside the house seemed to be turned on. The bright glow spilled out into the darkness, making the entire place look strangely abandoned. I sat in my car for a moment. My stomach tightened. Part of me wanted to call the police immediately. Another part of me needed to know if my friend was okay. So I got out and approached the house. The night felt unnaturally quiet. No voices, no movement, no sounds coming from inside. I stepped through the open doorway. "Evan," My voice echoed through the house. For a moment, nothing answered. Then I heard it. A distant voice. "Evan," I shouted again. This time I heard him yell back. The sound came from upstairs. Relief hit me immediately. At least he was alive. I rushed through the house and climbed the stairs toward the loft bedroom. The room looked normal at first glance. Then I looked down. Evan was hiding underneath his bed, completely underneath it, curled up against the floor. The moment he saw me, his eyes widened. "Hide," he whispered. I froze. "What? Hide?" His voice was shaking. I had never seen him like that before. This was the same guy who laughed through horror movies and never seemed afraid of anything. Now he looked absolutely terrified. I knelt beside the bed. "What happened?" He didn't answer. Not right away. He kept staring toward the bedroom doorway, as if expecting someone to appear there at any second. His breathing was fast. His hands trembled. For several minutes, he spoke only in short, broken sentences. Eventually, after calming down enough to explain, he told me what had happened. While we were playing Fortnite together, he had felt something touch the underside of his mattress. Just a small tap. At first he ignored it. Then it happened again. Curious and confused, he reached down and lifted the cloth hanging along the side of the bed. He expected to find nothing. Instead, he found a pair of eyes staring back at him from the darkness beneath the bed. A grown man was hiding underneath, listening, waiting, only a few feet away the entire time. As Evan told the story, his voice kept breaking. Even recalling the moment seemed difficult. The instant he saw the man beneath the bed, his brain struggled to process what he was looking at. For a split second, he thought it couldn't be real. Then reality hit. A stranger was inside his bedroom, under his bed, close enough to reach out and touch him. That was when he screamed. The same scream we had all heard through our headsets. In pure panic, he threw the headset onto the bed and stumbled backward toward the corner of the room. His entire body locked up. He couldn't think, couldn't move, couldn't understand why someone was there. According to Evan, the man calmly emerged from beneath the bed. Not running, not rushing, just slowly crawling out. The image alone was enough to send chills through me. Evan remained frozen in the corner, still screaming, still unable to believe what he was seeing. Then something even stranger happened. The man didn't attack him, didn't speak, didn't threaten him. He simply stood up, turned toward the doorway, and walked out of the room. Just like that. Gone. Evan never saw him again. But that wasn't the comforting part, it sounds like. Because after the man disappeared into the house, Evan had no idea where he went. Maybe he left. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he was still somewhere inside. That uncertainty was what terrified him most. After hearing the entire story, I understood why he had stayed hidden under the bed. Neither of us knew if the stranger was still there. The house suddenly felt different. Every hallway seemed darker. Every room felt occupied. Every small creak sounded suspicious. Evan eventually called the police because neither of us knew what else to do. Then we waited. The minutes felt endless. Every sound outside made us jump. Every passing car seemed important. When police finally arrived, both of us rushed outside. For the first time all night, it felt like maybe things would return to normal. But even then, the questions remained. Who was the man? How long had he been there? And why had he been hiding beneath Evan's bed in the first place? 2 police officers arrived at the house. 1 male officer, 1 female officer. Their presence immediately made the situation feel more real. This wasn't some strange misunderstanding anymore. A report was being filed. Questions were being asked. An actual investigation was beginning. The male officer entered the house first. He moved through the rooms, checking each area carefully. Meanwhile, the female officer remained outside with us. She carried a small notebook and listened as Evan explained everything from the beginning. The gaming session, the tapping beneath the bed, the moment he lifted the fabric, the stranger hiding underneath, the scream, the man walking out of the room. She wrote everything down, every detail, every observation, every memory Evan could provide. I watched as he recounted the story again, and even then he still looked shaken. His eyes constantly drifted back toward the house, as if he expected the stranger to reappear. The search eventually ended. The officer returned from inside. No suspect, no evidence, no answers, just an empty house. After speaking with us a little longer, the officers finished their report and left. And somehow that was the most unsettling part. The mystery remained completely unsolved. The stranger had entered Evan's home, hidden beneath his bed, waited there long enough to be discovered, then disappeared without a trace. No explanation was ever given. No suspect was identified. No one ever learned why he was there. That night, I stayed at Evan's house. Neither of us felt comfortable being alone. The lights remained on far later than usual. Sleep came slowly. Every creak of the house demanded attention. Every shadow seemed suspicious. Even though the police had already searched the property, neither of us could fully relax. Because once you've learned that a stranger was secretly hiding under your bed, a place that should feel safe never feels quite the same again. Years have passed since that night. We're all still friends. We still play Fortnite together. Life eventually returned to normal. But every now and then, when a game gets quiet and somebody suddenly stops talking through their headset, I remember that scream. And I remember the horrifying truth behind it. Somewhere beneath my friend's bed, hidden in the darkness, a stranger had been watching the entire time.